No, really, please stay. You haven't clicked on the wrong channel, or no. This is where you want to be. Okay, dear listener person. This is the Old Anorak radio podcast YouTube thingamy with me, Chris Young, and the Old Anorak himself, Jim, whose voice I can't currently hear because I'm incompetent.
Because you had me muted.
Don't judge me. Listen.
Why break the habit of a lifetime?
Anyway, Jim, the Old Anorak, slightly muted, but not forgotten. Don't do that. You're spoiling it for everyone. You think you're being smart. It's not funny, okay?
For a second there, you
just for a
doubts,
moment, I had
you?
that look in my eye, and I was going to start weeping. It's not that we've had technical problems.
It's terrible when you get a weepy eye.
We've never had technical problems in the past, have we? With this?
No.
With this fandangled world of computery nonsense.
Things have always worked perfectly.
So the whole idea of this Old Anorak shenanigans and tomfoolery is to get you, the dear listener, to engage in 20th century music. There's all kinds of things that you might have missed out on that we are going to sort of help you navigate your way through. Except this week, I'm not navigating anybody. It's like I'm navigating you with a map that kind of fell in the sea. I took it out and the ink ran, and I'm not terribly sure where we've been or where we're going. Thank goodness for the lovely James. James, what are we doing this week?
This is sounded like it's going to be quite a hoot, because I'm quite looking forward to your revelations as we go.
Well, all you're going to do, we know all you're going to do. You're going to mock me. You're going to make stuff up
again,
and you're going to, and then I'm going to naively follow you like a puppy.
Hang on. Let's wind back a step.
And then you're going to kick me while I'm down weeping.
Absolutely, and I'll take you to the vet and get you. That's what happens to bad puppies.
I don't want to be a bad puppy. I'm a good puppy, Jim.
Right.
Jim, I'm a good puppy.
That's fine.
Okay.
So, I won't be making things up.
No, you've never done that with me.
Thank you.
And mocked me in front of my friends here.
Oh, of course I've mocked you. Yeah, I mean,
tried to look hard.
Everybody does that. Don't you know?
Hadn't realised. most people have the decency not to do it to my face. To be fair.
Oh, your face, your back. It's all fair game. So shall we crack on?
I think we ought to.
And try and keep the listener engaged.
Listen, this relational stuff. They love this sort of stuff. They love people. They love chicanery and doodaddery.
Gibbering nonsense. It's very popular.
Gibbering nonsense. Listen, gibbering nonsense is all I have this week.
That's all both of us usually have, mate.
You're going to be rescuing
this
show because I am without a clue.
Okay.
Carry on.
Shall I kick off with the basic rules of the game?
Basic rules of the game. Let's go.
So, as you will be aware, if you watched it before, this is Chris and I choosing our fantasy bands each week, and each week is a different genre. If you haven't watched it, then that's just told you what it is. This week we're focusing on blues. The rules are pretty simple if you want to play along in the notes. Every musician's got to have been active in the 20th century, so they have to have at least released one commercial recording before the 1st of January in the year 2000. Secondly, you can pick up to 5 band members, but you need to have a minimum of 3. They've all got to play different instruments, and fourth, you can't have more than one member from any real life band. So you can have Lennon or McCartney, but you can't have both. And the most crucial thing of all, Christopher, what's the most crucial thing of all?
Points make prizes.
Yay.
The most crucial thing of all is that you make sure that you have a record, that a single or an album that people can go and listen to, where this person that you have chosen for your band is doing their musicking.
Musicking.
Yeah, it's a
a
technical
lovely
term.
new
You,
word.
you wouldn't understand.
No. Of course not.
So,
So, do you want to begin?
yeah, I do. Now, I've been suffering this week. I just like to say I kind of like to think that I have some vague knowledge of music, and when I don't have a vague knowledge of music, what I do is I make it up. And when I fail to make it up, I look to the interweb, and the interweb failed me several times in this world, and it failed me in a way that Jim occasionally fails me by taking the mickey. And what it did was
No, I never do that.
it presented me with AI blues music. And I found an album that I was listening to, and I was thinking, this doesn't sound old. And it was an AI produced album. I'm not going to put any reference for that, but it's just, they're out there, and there's lots of them, and just don't, frankly. Anyway, so my first gadget
Right.
is Howling Wolf.
What's
now-
he doing in the
Now,
band?
he's playing the muthi, which is the harmonica to the more cultured. And I found him after much scanning and dancing around the tube of you, playing Smokestack Lightning, which came out in 1956. Now, it just showed this glaring hole in my knowledge, and I listened to it and I thought, could I sing that back? I don't think I could. I'll listen to it again. I listened to it several times, and I'm kind of stuck. I'm thinking, this is music. It's a hole, and it's a hole that I just need to take my time with. But the most entertaining thing for me, this was a live performance I found, and it was the English-speaking white fellow who introduced him as Howling Wolf. And
was this an English program he was on?
no, actually, it was an American, but he was a posh
Was it?
American dude, and it was Smokestack Lightning, and you think, well, yes, here we go. You're not expecting this kind of grizzled, kind of raw bit of music after this really weird introduction, but I did sort of feel for the guy, because I think he was in a position that I was in. Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this music does. I don't understand it. So that's it, I'm afraid. Howling Wolf on the Muthi. What have you got?
What I've got is...
I bet it's more considered, and I bet you had a vast choice of folk to pick.
Oh, hundreds and thousands and millions.
Yeah, this is your thing, isn't it?
I'm starting with my bass man,
Right.
my bass player. And I've gone for Willie Dixon, also from Chess Records, where Howlin' Wolf would have recorded that
Is that
first
right?
album of his. Howlin' at Midnight, I think it was. Moaning in the Moonlight, it was the
Okay.
album your tune came from. So Willie Dixon's one of the genuinely legendary figures at Chess, and probably the one truly indispensable creative figure at the label. Because
Okay.
if Phil and Leonard Chess, the founders, hadn't had Willie Dixon, they'd have had half a label. He did that much. I mean, he played bass. He was an arranger, producer, songwriter.
Wow.
The only thing it didn't say that he did was do the dishes, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did that as well. But without his songwriting legacy, the blues would be really diminished.
Right, right.
I mean, songs like Coochie Coochie Man, I Just Want to Make Love to You, Little Red Rooster, My Babe, You Can't Judge a Book by Its Cover. I mean, as well as blues greats like Muddy Waters and your fella Howlin' Wolf, he also worked with some of the foundation stones of rock and roll like Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley.
Right, right.
And you know what? Without Willie Dixon, The early Rolling Stones gigs would have been only half as long.
So I tell you what I'm struck with is that this is a place where you are comfortable. You speak the language. It's like I've gone to a foreign country, and you're my translator. I'm standing there with the foreign currency in my hands, going,
"How much?"
And you're so comfortable with. And I'm just thinking, this is a place where our experiences kind of diverge, and I'm thinking, what is it about this genre that's really pulled you in?
It was just the excitement of some of it.
Yeah. I mean, it feels raw. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know who you've got coming up.
Me either.
But of the guys I've chosen, and plus Howlin' Wolf that you've nominated so far, none of them are really that raw. You need to go right back to the 20s and 30s to get the really raw stuff. Get into the Delta blues and get into people like Robert Johnson and folk like that, and then you'll get things stripped to the bone, emotionally speaking. The guys that we're dealing with are like a step or two removed from that, because they're playing with electrified instruments for one thing, whereas in the early days it was all acoustic. And so electric blues is a very, very different animal. But yeah, names like Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley, Muddy Waters, and Sonny Boy Williamson. Sonny Boy Williamson too, because there were two of them. And
two of them with the same name?
Yeah, the first one died early, and the second one, I can't remember if they were contemporary. I don't think
I know, I just thought they had unimaginative parents.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's a bit like some people numbering their albums instead of coming up with a name,
So, what you're offering up and what I think I'm offering up is almost like a gateway drug to the harder stuff if you go back further.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to start exploring 20th century music,
yeah.
On the one hand, you've got to start somewhere.
Yes.
And on the other hand, once you've started, don't stop. Keep going.
Yeah. Jump down rabbit holes and
rabbit holes and tangents. That's what we're all about.
Yeah. Cool.
So, just to round that off, my recommendation is going to be Willie's debut album, which is kind of incredible because he'd been working for Chess since about 1951. His debut album, Willie's Blues, came out in 1959, and not on Chess. It was on the Bluesville label.
I'm sure there's a story there, eh?
I'm sure there is, yeah.
Yeah, crikey. You can just imagine him go, could I just, maybe, because I'm doing everything, would it be okay if I just, and then go, next year, maybe.
Yeah. So, Christopher, who have you got coming up next?
Right, now I've got a rhythm guitarist, and I listened to them, and I did, again, James, I did my best.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to them singing as well. And again, it was a song that as far as I know, I've never heard in my entire life. And it was Freddie King.
Oh, yeah.
And he was singing I'm Torn Down. And it came out in 1961. He's playing the rhythm guitar, and he seems slightly upset, as in so many songs, that his other half, his partner, his wife, his girlfriend, has left him. and that's why he's singing the blues.
Mm-hmm.
But no, never heard it before, and James, I'm in a world of disarray. Guide me, fix my map. My map's broken.
Fix your map.
So that's it. Yeah.
What did you think of young Frederick?
Well, it's passionate stuff, isn't it? It's and you feel it's visceral, and you feel it. But I think I was brought up. This there's nobody else here, is there? Listen, it's like a secret. Like, I think I was brought up on 60s pop, and or country music, and I like songs with definite stories or happy endings, or what I would sort of see as a beginning, middle, and an end kind of trajectory, and I couldn't latch on to anything in this that did that for me. I listened to it a few times, and I enjoyed the sort of gut wrenching stuff, but I want something that I can sing on the bus, before they arrest me. Yeah, but so that's
it's interesting that you mentioned country, because I mean, in some ways you could just see country as the white man's blues.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Because it's all basically poor man's music. And
I have felt incredibly white during this, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Get used to it if you're going to explore blues.
I know.
But having said that, there's enough white dudes that play the blues. So,
okay.
It's not all my wife has left me and my dog's died and stuff like that.
So what have you got?
What was your tune called again?
My tune was "I'm Torn Down."
I'm torn down. Right.
Which from the tone, he was less than happy.
He doesn't sound like a happy bunny, does he?
No.
So what I've got next is my drummist.
A drummist.
Originally, I was going to do something a little bit off the beaten track again. I was going to dispense with the drummist and have a maracas player.
All right, cool.
And this is again taking us back to Chess Records, where Howlin' Wolf and Willie Dixon were. And a couple of weeks ago, maybe a bit longer, we spoke about Bo Diddley. And I was going to go with Jerome Green, his maracas player, for my percussion.
Right.
But I had a listen to one of the tracks this afternoon, and all I could hear was Clifton James's drums.
Right.
And it's like, nah, I'm sorry, Jerome, you're not doing enough,
Maracering.
Yeah.
Is that a verb? I maraca, you maraca, we like maracering.
It is now.
Yeah, maracering.
That's miraculous. So, if you haven't heard Bo Diddley, and you have, because I sent you a link this morning.
You did.
You'll be familiar with that beat, that foundational beat for rock and roll. And it's synonymous for him, and it's hypnotised generations of musicians, including Buddy Holly and the Rolling Stones. But both Bo and Willie Dixon give Clifton James the credit that it was him that actually created the beat.
Interesting.
So that's my second member of my band, and I'm recommending Bo's debut album, Bo Diddley by Bo Diddley on Chess in 1958.
So, again, I know we've touched on this in previous shows. Is that so much of music is just interlinked?
It's
that this leads to this, that this leads to that, and it's like these bits of music, these types of music coexist at the same time, and it's just that for some reason anyway, right, cool.
I mean, you could see it as maybe like, I don't know, like a bit like the London Underground map, or a bit like a plate of spaghetti. And depending on how confused you're feeling.
Quite. Yeah.
So who's your next gadget?
Well, my next gadget is your Muddy Waters. I mean, it had to be sort of because they're quite famous, aren't they?
He
apparently.
is, yeah.
And I thought a song where he declares that he is the blues. He says, "I am the blues," and I'm buying that, because if he says, "I am the blues," yeah, that's fine. I'm a newcomer to this. He tells me he's the blues. I'm going to say that's great. Came out in 1969, so I'm going to have him on the lead guitar, but he's also a singist. A lot of these dudes are singists as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I choose a lot of people because they can double up.
Yeah. So I'm having him on lead guitar. So as I say, I don't have a lot to say except I'm out of my depth with Muddy Waters. See what I did there?
Yeah, that's very good. That.
Yeah. So
did you like Muddy?
Again, it's visceral stuff, and I think I need to familiarise myself with it, with that kind of music, and because I haven't done it all my life, it is a bit like, and I go back, it's like learning a new language.
Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to it on and off since I was a teenager. So
yeah. So getting into the patterns, but the thing that I do enjoy is the gut wrenching stuff. It hits you in the stomach, and I like that. But I need to get past the stomach bit, and I need to sort of get into the sort of proper rhythm of it and the patterns within it and that kind of.
You just need to find the front door key.
Yeah. As opposed to banging on the door saying, "Will you shut that racket up?" That's right. Yeah.
A bit like the character banging on the door in the Flintstones.
Yes. Well, Ma. Yeah. So, what have you got?
Well, you've given us a guitarist. I'm going to do the same.
Yeah.
So my guitarist is a white dude called Stevie Ray Vaughan. And we're back to the brown bread guys here.
Yeah.
In fact, most of.
Yeah, I should imagine.
I don't think all, but most of these guys so far are dead.
That's your 20th century music for you.
Yeah, that's it. But that's also a result of digging back so far as well.
Yeah.
So I've gone for Stevie Ray Vaughan. And if that means nothing to you, well, you're in for a different kind of blues experience.
Okay.
Very different to what you've had so far during your research. I mean, he's one of those members of that rock club that no one wants to join. It's the folk that died too young.
Oh, right. Oh, gosh.
So
he had this massive future ahead of him and then just...
Yeah, it was beginning to open out for him. He died in 1990 at the age of 35. And is probably the last great discovery of a legendary A&R man, artists and repertoire. These are the talent scouts that keep the industry going. But this was a guy called John Hammond, who was an upstate New York aristocrat. He was one of the genuine aristocrats in the music game.
Okay.
Whereas you'll have heard of Count Basie and Duke Ellington.
Yes. Their
nicknames. Yeah. But this guy, I think he was related through a part of his family to the Vanderbilts.
Okay.
So there was moneyed connections there.
Wow.
But Hammond, we're going to have to make a show dedicated to Hammond on his own at some point.
Right. Okay.
So we'll cover him in more.
It sounds like was he kind of ubiquitous? He was sort of fingers in lots and lots of different pies.
He was around in the music business from the 30s, up until the 80s. So he covered 50 years.
That's a lot.
And discoveries include people like Count Basie and Billie Holiday and Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen.
Wow.
And we're just scratching the surface.
That's an eclectic mix, eh?
That's quite a good CV already.
Yeah.
But coming back to young Stevie here, young Stevie would have given one of the British white bluesmen a run for his money. He would have given Eric Clapton a really good run for his money.
Right.
Very different players in style, but you need to check him out. His best known stuff is with a couple of guys that played under the heading of Double Trouble.
Okay.
So Chris Layton on drums, Tommy Shannon on bass. It seems like Texas likes a musical trio.
Right. Okay.
And we'll come back to that remark at the end of the show.
These musicians, and just while you're talking there, do people stay within the genre? Do they, or do they develop out of them, or do they regress out of them, or do they go sideways?
Some people will, like all walks of life. There are people who are stuck in a rut and they'll just stay on that same course.
Yeah.
And there are others who are more adventurous that will try different things.
Sure.
The answer is both.
So your Gadgie could have been on his way to all kinds of...
Yes, Stevie Ray Vaughan was I think only about 3, maybe 4 albums into his career.
Right.
I think debut album was 83.
So from your perspective, that's still cutting your teeth?
Pretty much. I mean,
yeah.
Your first album lets the world know you're around, and your second album is where you get the chance to confirm that you weren't a one-hit wonder.
Okay.
Assuming the first one was a hit.
Yeah.
And then by the third album was when the talent should be starting to really open up and blossom.
Okay.
And
then you have a fan base as well, don't you? And that sort of...
Yeah, you should have built enough of momentum for your name alone to actually sell some of the music without people having to ask, why should I buy it?
Yeah.
But if you want a good example of somebody, and this is not related to blues, but of somebody whose progression kind of reflects what I've just said, in terms of the first album is Here I Am, the second one is It Wasn't a Fluke, and the third one is I Can Also Do This.
Right.
Look at a guy called Sturgill Simpson.
Oh, you've tried to sell him to me before.
Yeah. I'm quite a fan. His first 3 albums are increasingly fabulous.
Okay.
And I have to give the first one 4.5 stars, because you can't give 5 to everything.
No, because you want to see some development and say that...
And the second was definitely a 5, and the third was probably a 5.5. But on a scale of 1 to 5, that's impossible.
Yeah, crikey.
So, that illustrates...
Well, that's a different show altogether. That's what I'm looking forward to. So, okay.
So we'll get to him. And my recommendation for finding out about Stevie Ray is his first album, Texas Flood, out on Epic Records in 1983.
Right. That seemed, for blues, that feels really contemporary. But then again, I keep saying things are contemporary when they're still 1,000 years ago, which means...
That's 40 odd years still.
So not contemporary at all.
It feels contemporary, I guess, because in the 80s we were contemporary with that.
Yeah.
And Stevie Ray back then would have been the big brother if we'd been in the same company.
Indeed. Right. Okay. Thank you for that. That's brilliant.
Who's next?
Right. Well, now I started kind of I listened to. I think I then accidentally listened to more AI music, thinking I'm adrift. And then I thought,
at least you can spot it. That's a step up on a lot of folk.
I took a couple of shots, and you sort of go, hold on a second, no. Anyway, so I went to more sort of familiar territory where, call it coastal waters, where at least I can see land and go, hold on, I know this, and I'm probably cheating by mentioning a band that I've mentioned before, but I don't care. I just wanted somewhere safe, and I've got Al Jackson, who was the drummer with Booker T and the MGs, and. Yeah. And the interesting thing about Green Onions, which is my recommendation, which I think I should recommend it every week, because it's one of the greatest pieces of music of all time.
I was just listening to it half an hour before we tuned in.
Funny, and I hadn't realised it was a B-side. It came out as a B-side, and I thought, well, that's got to be one of the greatest B-sides of all time.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
And they were. I mean, who in their right mind put that out as a B-side? What on? For the younger listeners, the B-side is the wrong side of the record, which very often people don't ever listen to. So, yeah.
That's true. A lot of people have just, no, why do you listen to a B-side?
I know. So yeah, that came out, Green Onions came out in 1962.
Why?
So, yeah, that was me, like I say, drifting back to sort of, at least I could see the shore.
Oh, was it Ackerbilk waving to you?
Yeah, look, and Ackerbilk is obviously in every band that I've ever... that and Russ Abbott.
Don't you Russ Abbott, mate. No,
anyway, crack on.
You bastard, you're getting ridiculed.
No, it's always implied, the ridicule. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. No, I'll make sure it's bloody obvious.
Thank you, Doctor.
Right, back to me.
Yes.
Okay. So you've had a harpist. My turn for a harpist. So on the blues harp or harmonica, I've got Johnny Marrs.
Ah.
No, nothing to do with the Smiths.
Yeah, I was thinking I've nearly heard of him.
Yeah. So that gadgie is M-A-R-R, and this gadgie is M-A-R-S,
right.
like the planet. So I had to have a harp player because
you need a muthid, don't you?
Yeah, if there's one instrument that really kind of defines the blues, it's the muthi, as you call it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't put together an ideal band without having someone on this.
Yeah.
And I discovered him when I bought his modestly titled album, King of the Blues Harp, when we were at college together at North East London Polytechnic.
I can't believe we've never mentioned North East London Polytechnic,
it's the first time ever,
where we met and shared many chicanery shenanigans.
Such nonsense.
Them were the days.
They certainly were.
Yes.
Now, when I was looking into this, because I'm familiar with Johnny Marrs and his music, but I was a little curious about why it was a blues harp, and it's named after the Aeolian harp, an ancient Greek a garden fixture, like a wind chime.
Okay.
And the name comes from Aeolus, the god of the wind. So the connection being that the harmonica is also played by air being blown through it, like the wind through the chimes.
Right.
So it isn't a case of implying that there's a musical connection between a harp and a harmonica.
Yeah.
Because there isn't that I can hear.
No.
But I thought that was quite interesting.
That certainly is, because I remember you. What was it? Me and Johnny, me and
Bobby
McGee. That was it. And he talks about
put his harp out of his pocket.
And I thought, what on earth is he talking about with a harp in his pocket? So the education is complete.
Has that only just cleared that up just now?
Well, no, but I'm getting a bit of the backstory now. So the Greek backstory, because obviously we know that blues is based in how much does a Grecian earn.
Same as the rest of us.
Yes.
So as far as a recommendation, I am going to stick with the album I discovered him from, which is King of the Blues Harp on the JSP label from 1985.
Wow.
So you've got one more band member to introduce to us.
Yeah, I can't help myself, and again, this was cheap, and see, I was thinking I was going to drift towards the Rolling Stones because they're a bit bluesy at times, and then I'm showing my ignorance because I drifted back to the Animals and House of the Rising Sun. Because that sounds to me bluesy, and
you're on the right track for sure.
And the lead singer is Eric Burden. He's the guy we spoke about before. He looks about 5 and he's got the voice of a 230-year-old dead man.
Yeah,
and it's just incredible. If you've never heard House of the Rising Sun, just do.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good call.
Yeah. So, and I wonder if that's a kind of gateway drug that could get our eager listener into approaching the other blues stuff. But as I say, I'm treading water. I'm drowning. I've lost my map. My ship has sunk, and lots of other.
You've found at least one water wing with Eric Burden.
Yeah. So that's why I'm swimming around in circles. So House of Rising Sun came out in 1964. Because I hadn't.
Excellent.
But yeah, thank you. So what have you got that's more closely related to what we're talking about?
Well, the singist I've got is not going to be that obscure, and if you haven't heard his name, you will definitely know his band.
Right.
So I've gone for a young chap called Billy Gibbons.
Right.
Ring any bells?
Don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan, I mentioned Texas has a penchant for musical trios.
Okay.
He's the lead singer from another one called ZZ Top. Yeah.
Wow.
So I told you you'd know this one.
I knew that one.
Now, he's been the lead singer with them since they started in 1969, so
right.
that's not a bad gig.
So that's quite an eye-opener as well, that the ZZ Top's been around since 1969. You think they were invented in the 80s? Or?
That's right, but I mean, if you go back... If you go back to the beginning, their early albums are just tremendous, and it's a very different sound. It's a very beer-soaked kind of blues sound.
Actually, talking of beer-soaked, one of the things that I noticed was that whiskey and beer seems to feature a lot in the names of songs, the names of albums.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are a whole series of albums, about old country and blues songs, and they're all connected to like drugs and drink and smoking and breaking the law and what have you.
Yeah. I didn't see anything called "I Was Bladdered." I think that was sold millions.
Oh yeah. Maybe that's just a particularly Scottish vernacular.
I was bladdered. Yeah, Scottish blues. There's a thing.
Yeah. That's it.
There
is a thing.
Yeah.
So when it came to nominating or recommending something, I wasn't sure what to go with here. The first album that they had, Rio Grande Mud, I was going to recommend because of a song called Francine.
That's a fantastic name for an album.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now Francine just grooves. And it could have definitely carried the weight of being recommended. But you know what? Their second album, Fandango, has a tune called Tush, and that likewise, that's a grooving monster as well.
Right.
But I've gone for their third album, Tres Hombres, because it's got a song called Lagrange on it. And every time this would come on the jukebox in the old Black Bull at the top of Leith Street, I would immediately be drawn back to John Lee Hooker.
Right.
Because it has John Lee Hooker vibes running through this song, like it's the song's blues DNA.
Yeah.
And it's a no-brainer. So Tres Hombres on London Records from 1973 is my ZZ Top pick.
Right. So in Scottish, that would have been Three Blokes.
That's it, or Gadgies.
Yeah, Three Gadgies. Aye, Ken. So, right. Well, that's a bit of a journey, a bit of a detour. That's...
Yeah, so, that's... Hopefully that illustrates to you that the blues is a much wider sphere than you might have been led to believe from your research.
Yeah.
And it can also be a lot more accessible than it sounds like you've found it to be.
It made me think a lot like calculus. You sort of look at calculus and you think, these are numbers, these are letters. I kind of understand algebra a bit. I understand numbers and. I could never get my head around the fact that they were using letters rather than numbers. Yeah,
and it's like, so it isn't 0 to 9, but why isn't it still a number?
Yeah,
it must have a numeric value.
I know.
Why is it a bloody letter?
Yeah. Yes, it's a variable. No, I don't want it to be a variable. I want it to be a thing, just a thing. Yeah.
That's it.
Actually, that sounds a lot like the blues. Actually, So, crikey! Man, that
all the way
me,
from chess records to calculus.
That has been a bit of a journey for me, and I felt just a wee bit tense, sort of going through that because I don't like feeling so naive. I think
naive. Okay,
yeah,
that's as good a word as any.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I'll maybe go down your ZZ Top.
And have a look at Stevie Ray Vaughan as well.
Yeah.
Don't forget, like I say, the blues is much wider than you imagine. So
yes.
Also check out Eric Clapton.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
And
of
Jeff
course.
Beck.
Yeah,
There's another couple of names for you.
Yeah. I've I looked at them and I thought, no, that's a complete cop out, Christopher. Because that's, and again, I get lost in this world of thinking things are contemporary when they're clearly not. They're about 1,000 years old, which means I'm 1,000. Anyway, so where does that leave us? We've got our bands. We've created our bands. We're beginning to glue them together now. What next? What are we up to now? What
What next? You mean in terms of for the next show?
I think, yeah. For what's coming up for the next show, I guess, and what do we want from our eager listener viewer person?
Well, let's take the next show first. The next show is going to focus on folk music.
Right.
So, again, like blues, Chris, it's a much wider palette than you might imagine it to be. Well,
yeah, I think of folk, and I think a long time ago I did.
I think of folk singing through one nostril with a hand over one ear and.
Doing a ramble around the edge. I was doing a ramble around the edge of Scotland, and I stopped off in a place called Mallaig, which is spelt Malaig, and it's just off the southern coast of the Isle of Skye. And I went to a pub because while I was doing my walk, I did a lot of going to the pub because that's where people were, and I just talked to folk. And while I was there, a band formed around me of people who just brought their instruments, and who weren't a band before. These were people who didn't know each other. So a couple of them, to be fair, knew each other, but others didn't, and they just played Scottish folk and developed music around me, and it was magical. So folk,
so just an on-the-spot session.
Yeah, so folk is I'm looking forward to that, and nothing immediately springs to mind, but I'm certain I have more purchase in this story than I did with blues.
You probably will.
Yeah.
I don't imagine you being quite so
Yeah.
feeling like you're cast adrift with
I
this
know.
one.
Okay, cool. No, I'm looking forward to that. So what do we want from our
From our delightful reader.
yeah.
Well, we like all the usual YouTube goodness.
Yes.
We like to see things in the comments, like people telling us who they'd have in their band
Yeah, that'd be
and
great.
why.
Yeah.
And don't forget, if you're going to play along in the comments, stick in your recommended tune.
That'd be perfect.
So we can have a listen and
Yeah.
find out what your man or woman is all about.
Yeah, we're finding that a lot of people are listening to our shorts, but I want people to listen to our longs. That'd be delicious if you would participate and join in our long rambling detours.
Yes,
as we go.
because they're not that long and rambly, really. It's
No.
just it's thinking not so much on your feet, but thinking while you're stretching out and lying back a bit and taking it easy.
But you're very welcome. It'd be lovely to see you. Yeah, and we might even make you a cup of tea.
Yeah, but there'll be no biscuits.
Yeah, no biscuits. Obviously, we don't want you to sort of raise your expectations.
You've got to play along and tell us who's in your band first before you get a biscuit.
Or maybe a really old rich tea that from 1972.
Oh, that'd be nice and soft.
Yeah, those are the best. And you go for the fast dunk, but the fast dunk doesn't work with a crumbly, and it just vanishes into your tea, and you think that's
it. So you get biscuity tea.
I'm going to swallow that at the end. Yeah, good, right. Well, so next time, folk, please send us your recommendations, your who you would have in your band. Yeah, it'd be lovely to hear your dulcet tones. Yeah.
Yeah, like and subscribe as usual.
Like and subscribe. And you can find us on the Tube of You.
Yep. You said Instagram as well?
We are in the Instagram. Yes, we have been doing the reels.
Ooh.
Not the 8-some reels as they might do in the Scotland.
So you're down with the kids?
I'm down with the ute. Yeah. That's me.
We're also on Blue Sky and Substack.
Yes, we are.
As the old Anorak.
So, join in. It's great. It's been lovely to see you. Shall we say farewell?
Yeah, farewell.
It's been lovely. I've been Chris Young.
And I've been Jim Lang.
Bye for now.
Thanks.